Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a pick a card reading for the week ahead. So for these readings, I pick an overall theme using the cards, and then I'll get into the different groups. So the overall theme for this reading today, you have these three cards. So the Ring, which says a marriage will take place, either romantic or business. And then you have the Boot, which says increase your efforts if you want to achieve your goals. And then finally you have the Axe. Forces are working against you. So in this, the theme of this reading is that there is absolutely some sort of like renewed commitment or a leveling up in terms of a certain commitment, either in like your relationships or in work or in other aspects of your life, I suppose. A renewed commitment that will require you to put more work in is what's coming through. But there are forces that are perhaps working against you. And I don't necessarily feel that this is, well, I mean, this is going to depend on each group. So just keep that in mind. I'm not going to expand on this too much in the overall theme because I feel like the specific details will come out in the group. But you have here Whale at the bottom of the deck, which says great worry over nothing, and then Club, which says someone will try to make you do something against your will. And so obviously these two energies are going together. So it could be that like if you're entering into some sort of new commitment, that of course means that you're going to have to perhaps leave other aspects behind, right? Like, I'm just going to leave it like that. Leave other aspects behind in order to increase your efforts in a certain direction, is what that's feeling like. But with the Whale here, it's just reassuring you that there's nothing to worry about. That it's kind of like whatever this situation is might feel like it's a big sort of problem or obstacle to overcome, but it's really just like worrying over something that's perhaps not, that doesn't merit that much worry, is what that's feeling like. So that's the overall theme. I'm going to hold up cards for the individual groups, and you'll find the timestamps in the description box below. So for group 1, we have the Ear card, Good News. For group 2, we have Wishbone, A Wish is Granted. And for group 3, we have Goldfish, Increase in Material Wealth or Spiritual Growth. So I'll hold up all three so that you can compare them. And the timestamps are in the description box below. Hi group 1, welcome to your reading. So we're going to start off with the bottom of the deck for the two decks that I'm using. So we have here the Funnel, which says period of frustration, lessons to be learned. And then you have the Seven of Wands. And then underneath that, the Six of Pentacles, because I'm also going to bring these two up as well. The Tower and the Knight of Wands. So I feel like what this is talking about is that with the Funnel, the period of frustration, this feels kind of like your emotional energy, or like your, it doesn't necessarily feel like what you're giving in terms of like your like money or like material things or assistance. It kind of feels like it has to do with emotional energy, right? Like carrying an emotional load for other people is what's coming through here. So you have here Six of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands and the Funnel. And then the first tea leaf card you have out is the Seahorse, which talks about, so it says family matters. So it could be in relation to your family or people that are just close to you, right? People that you consider family, like friends and things like that. You have a lot of, well, the Seahorse to me talks about sort of like, because the seahorses in like the masculine, the male seahorse are the ones that nurture and carry the babies, right? So there could be something about like how you are using your energy to give to others in order to nurture them. That's what the topic of this group is. The cards that you have here to explain this is the Five of Cups, the Ace of Wands and the Ten of Swords. So I'm seeing this as you, right? Like this seahorse, the salamander, this Ace of Wands energy, because it kind of feels like there's maybe, especially with this funnel, like a period of frustration, because I was seeing this like sort of seahorse here as well, that there may be people around you, so it could be family members or just like whoever's around you in this time, who are perhaps going through this period of like Five of Cups, Ten of Swords, right? Loss, and this Ten of Swords could be so much. Perhaps an ending. It may be grief, but I don't necessarily feel like it's that. It feels much more like a long-term kind of like, so perhaps a depression, right? I'm just bringing that up because of this card as well. You have the elephant that says a long journey, either physical or mental, will leave you wiser at the end. So it could be that this has already been going on for a while is kind of how this is feeling. It has been a long journey is what this is looking to me like, especially if we are at the Ten of Swords. The 10 is a completion energy. There's nothing here left, but I feel like it's kind of like here with the Ace of Wands. For you, group 1, I feel like you're perhaps trying to uplift this energies to like a more positive state, right? It's kind of like if there's people who are in a bad mood around you, or who are in a period of like perhaps depression or something like that, it's like you're perhaps trying to uplift their spirits in some way with this inspiring kind of energy, right? With the salamander. But I feel like what's coming out next here, you have the shark, which says take care or there will be a loss of material wealth. So I don't feel that it's material, because you actually don't have that many pentacle cards out here. You have a lot of sort of energetic cards. So I feel like it's talking about if you stay in this situation where you're trying to uplift people who are perhaps in a state where it's like they're not seeing, perhaps they don't have any sense of joy or happiness or whatever, like you may end up joining them in that sort of energy is kind of how it's feeling. I'm trying to phrase this in a way that's like, because especially if you have a lot of empathy for these ones, especially if they're family members or people that you care about, it's kind of, or it could even be like in your workplace or whatever it is. It's kind of like, if you've ever been in like a place where like there's a really dominant energy, that's what it's coming through as, because these were like surrounding the Ace of Wands, where this energy is actually more dominant. The Five of Cups, the Ten of Swords. And so if it's kind of like one person fighting against a more dominant energy, usually that doesn't end up in your favor. So there may have been some sort of like frustration where it's like you're trying to uplift a group perhaps, but it's just like one against, or one trying to uplift a full group, and like that's not going to be the best use of your resources is kind of how this is feeling with the shark. It's like take care perhaps of yourself, because there may be a loss of your energy, right? Because this situation is more dominant, or there's more of the others who are in this state compared to you, is kind of how this is feeling. And so it's like perhaps there has been like, this has been a long journey for you, where you have invested a lot of energy already, but it's kind of like that. It's like there's something else that's calling you. It feels like it's trying to pull you in a different direction here, because the way that the cards are coming out here, you have here the Sun and the Temperance, right? And then you have like all on this side of how this is playing out for me on the table, you have here the Egg. So first of all, this card came out underneath the shark. And to me, this golden egg always represents sort of like, your loved ones are safe. You and your loved ones are safe. Absolutely. This shark is not like a threat of any sort. It's just kind of like if you stay in this situation, you may just end up feeling drained, is what this is talking about. That's sort of what this shark is telling me. So it's like perhaps you're in an environment where you're just feeling drained by the energy, because it's kind of like that energy is overpowering this Ace of Wands aspect of self, if that makes sense. So success assured with good plans and hard work. So it's kind of like you're trying to, perhaps there's some other thing that's calling you to focus your attention on this instead, on the egg, instead of the situation that is perhaps around you. Because it's kind of like with the funnel, you have to sort of focus your energy in on what this egg is, because you have here as well, so the ear, good news, and you have target, a goal-oriented person. So it's kind of like what this is telling me is that there may be sort of environmental factors around you where it's Ten of Swords, Five of Cups, right? It's energies that are very difficult to ignore, I want to say. It's because it's kind of like, it's representing sort of like a darkness kind of energy, or shadow, or difficulty, pain, all of that, right? And of course, it's kind of like, I feel like this is not your energy. It's something that's external to your environment, especially with the Seven of Wands. Like, it's like having to go into a place, and every time you step into it, it's conflict. It's difficult. You have to like maintain a lot of boundaries between this energy and yourself. That's what this card is talking about. But it's kind of like what this is saying is that focus on your goal, or what it is that you're trying to work on, because there's a lot of good news and a lot of success that is coming to you, right? With the Sun card and Temperance. But it's kind of like, in order to do that, you kind of have to leave the other energies behind. I don't want to phrase it like that. You have to sort of let this energy be. You have to let it be, is kind of how it's feeling like, because it kind of feels like you're putting your light into a situation where there's just so much hardship, is kind of how this is feeling, right? It's like one flame against a whole like environment full of difficulty, right? So it's kind of like of course you want to be someone who uplifts, but in this case, there's no bringing back this zombie, right? There's no bringing back this energy, the Ten of Swords. So it's like, even if you did somehow, it wouldn't even be something fruitful, is kind of how it's feeling. Anyways, so you have here the Sun and Temperance, because I feel like what this Sun card always talks to me about playfulness and joy and happiness, and the Temperance card, because there's a lot of fire here, right? It's talking about like the Temperance card to me talks about a balance between fire and water, right? Like your inspiration, the things that drive you, your passion, and all of that. But there could also be sort of this energy of like an excess of water, right? Where there's like perhaps a lot of emotional energies that are like perhaps tempering you too much, is kind of how it's feeling. Like because this environment is so watery, it overpowers your fire, is kind of how that's feeling, right? Like it's overpowering this fiery energy, is what this is feeling like. And so it's wanting to bring more fire into the situation, meaning more playfulness, more inspiration, more joy, more happiness, and all of that. Because perhaps there was something that was becoming unbalanced in terms of like too much water, too much emotional energies around you, right? That could be sort of like the forces that were working against your control, especially because you have water, like Five of Cups, and also the Ten of Swords. So too much air can also blow out your fire, right? Like it's like windy and unpleasant and rainy. And so it's kind of like you have to keep your hands, or like protect your fire a bit from whatever this situation is. Because it's kind of like what it is that you really want to be working on is this. You have here the Eight of Pentacles, the Death card, and the Ace of Cups, which I love so much. This combination of cards, because you have the Eight of Pentacles, which is today, well, of course, it's like your work, right? Or like what it is that you're working on, what it is you want to be working on, and focusing in on that, because it's kind of like there's a lot of good news here. There's a lot of success that is assured with all of this hard work that you're putting in. The hard work feels like it's just what you're focused on with the target, right? Like focus on your goals. And that's going to bring you through this transition with the Death card, because it's like sometimes I feel like this Ten of Swords is an energy where it's like, obviously this energy is not something that is moving forward, but it hasn't gone through the transition element yet. It's still kind of like in this period of like not transforming is what this is feeling like. And it's like what it is that you're moving into. So it's like leaving whatever this is behind and moving into the Ace of Cups, which is all of this abundant love energy, right? It's an overflowing fountain, because I feel like right now you're sort of using all of your internal, perhaps, strength or inherent joy or whatever it is, whatever this Ace of Wands represents to you, your uplifted spirits, right? Like wanting to help or inspire, or creativity or passion or whatever it is. It feels like a lot of it's going towards this energy, family matters, or like focusing perhaps too much on what's around you rather than what it is that you're trying to work on, is kind of how that's feeling. So there is sort of like this transition happening for you, but it's like it requires you to like focus on the good news in terms of like what it is that you can accomplish here, like something that actually provides success, because it feels like perhaps you've been giving a lot to this situation for a long time. It might be like with the elephant, right? Like trying to, because the elephant comes through with like memory, right? Like, so perhaps people that you have a lot of history with, where it's like wanting to preserve the memories perhaps, but it's kind of, it may be over time leading you to be drained either in your resources or your energy, or however that plays out for you, right? That's what this is talking about. It's like there's loss in this situation. It's kind of like wanting you to move forward into this energy. And then you have here, so that's the message. I'm just going to leave it like that for you, group one. But I pulled a Moonology card, so it says, this is the full moon in Aries, a fiery climax approaches. So it's like you are reaching the end of this, because it's coming through with Aries energy, which is a lot of fire, right? It's talking about your fire, right? Your motivation, your passion, the things that you care about, what inspires you, what it is that you want to create. And especially with Aries, because Aries to me is always a balance between sort of like the Fool, which is like starts new things, new projects, is always eager to sort of go out and do things and explore and all of that. And then also balanced by the Emperor, which is being very controlled, right? Like having your focus set on expansion, and what it is that you're trying to create in your environment and all that. So I feel like that's what this energy is talking about. Perhaps moving away from energies that are draining your energy in some way and reconnecting with joy and happiness and the things that bring you warmth, right? The things that like add to your happiness rather than things that drain your energy. So I'm going to leave it there, group 1. If this message resonated with you, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. It helps so much. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye. Hi, group 2. Welcome to your reading. So we're going to start off with the bottom of the deck for this reading. So we have the Two of Swords, the Two of Pentacles, and the Judgment. And then you also have the Gavel, which is really interesting. So, and it's interesting that this is group 2 as well, because I feel like this group is perhaps in a stalemate at the moment with these, like the Two of Pentacles and the Two of Swords, right? Like where it's like there hasn't been a lot of movement in a particular direction for whatever reason, but I feel like the Judgment card is coming into like it's especially with the Gavel, right? And the first card that you have out in your actual spread is the Justice card. So there may have been some sort of like waiting for a verdict of some sort, or waiting for something like external to you with the Justice. So this card says involvement with the law. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like a lawsuit or a case or anything like that, like a court case. It just kind of feels like you've been waiting on somebody else to make some sort of decision about how you're moving forward, is what that's coming through with. But it's what's coming through in the cards is that it's absolutely going to end up in your favor, right? Like something is being, some sort of judgment is favoring you, is what this is talking about. So this, you have here the Boat, which is the first card. Money or property through an inheritance, winning or windfall, right? And especially if it's some sort of like a lawsuit or something like that, where it's like there's money involved, or like you've been, perhaps there's been like money that was supposed to come to you, but because of this situation, it was held back or something like that. It's like with the Wishbone, a wish is granted. You have nothing to worry about. It's kind of like this situation is going to be resolved soon, is what this is feeling like. With the Justice energy being the first card out, right? So it's like something is being ruled in your favor, because the cards that are coming out next here, you have the Three of Swords and the Six of Cups. So this Six of Cups, it could have to do with children as well. Maybe for some of you with the Six of Cups, I normally don't get that, but just with like, I don't know, maybe it's like a custody battle or something, right? There's some sort of difficulty here through this Justice energy, but I feel like it's being ruled in your favor and something is being returned to you. It's like the outcome that you desired, right? Like your wish is being granted. It's going to work out in your favor. It feels kind of like, because when I was shuffling the cards, and the cards that came out, where there was like a chunk of cards that came out all at once, and I didn't take them because there was like more than 5. It was too many. But it was talking about like, it actually came out with the broken wishbone, right? A wish that's not being granted. But I feel like that's talking about the other side, where it's kind of like, the cards that came out with that was the empty chair, which is something is leaving your life. And then it was coming through with like an older man, younger woman dynamic, right? So it could be like a father energy, which is really interesting, or something like that. I don't know what that is. It could be like perhaps receiving a gift from somebody older. It doesn't have to be like man or woman in terms of your gender. It could just be like the energies that are around, right? Like, so, and whatever that is. I'm just going to leave it there because I didn't end up taking those cards because there were too many of them. Anyways, so then the cards that came out after, which I feel like is for you, the chair filled, right? Because in that group of cards that came out before for the broken wish, like remember, your wish is being granted. Whatever it is that you want out of a situation, out of this verdict or this judgment energy, it's working out in your favor. And it's, for you, it's feeling like if there's been an empty chair or an empty spot, it's like that spot is now being filled, is what this is talking about here, with someone new is entering your life, right? And what they're coming in with is all of this, the heart. So you have love, deep affection, and caring, which is so lovely. And then here the basket, recognition, reward for merit, right? So there's somebody who's leaving your life through this judgment energy, right? Somebody who perhaps was in a position to give to you, but perhaps did not, right? And so it left you in a stalemate, right? This Two of Pentacles. And perhaps, like with this Three of Swords, heartbreak of some sort. But something is actually coming in that is perhaps more, not perhaps, it absolutely is more in alignment with you, right? It's coming in with a basket full of love. This person who's filling your chair is kind of how this is feeling. And you have here the Ten of Pentacles, because I feel like, especially with these two energies, the Six of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles from the After Tarot, which is, to me, this talks about a manifestation that is complete. It's fully complete. There's no more growth that's happening here. It's kind of like you're packing up your bags and moving somewhere else. So it could be something like that, where it's like you will be going through this, whatever this judgment energy is, or this justice energy is. Something is being ruled in your favor, and it's like you can pack up and leave this place that perhaps was not in alignment with you, or was somehow temporary, or was representing a sort of stalemate period of non-movement, is kind of how that's feeling, especially because you have here next the King of Wands and the Emperor. So I feel like this is perhaps the chair filled. Either it's like, so it could be a couple different ways, especially because it's coming out with two king energies, right? Like the Emperor, of course, is the king that embodies all of the kings, right? So it could be that you're stepping into your masculine energy in a really like powerful way. Or because these are coming from two decks, it could be something like somebody else is recognizing, somebody else who perhaps is in like a position of power is recognizing something that you've done in order to move out of this Two of stagnation energy is what I'm going to call that. So it's like there's some sort of judgment that's being ruled in your favor. It's going to allow you to move forward. It's a wish granted. And at the same time, perhaps there's also somebody new entering your life with this Emperor. It could be a whole range of things, right? I don't know exactly, but regardless of how this person enters your life, whether it's like, could be like a new job, right? A new structure, a new goal to work towards, perhaps, or like a new position maybe as well. That's been coming up a lot. But whatever it is, a lot of love for you. There's so much love and affection and recognition, and perhaps like with the King of Wands allows you to take movements that are in line with what you care about, is kind of how this is feeling to me. So that's really positive. And then you have here the Temperance card. So this also came out in group 1, so you may want to watch that one as well. But this card from the After Tarot talks about like things that you're letting go, because normally these Temperance card, like Temperance has like the two cups flowing into one another. So sometimes I see that as being like waiting until the right opportunity, right? Because it is Sagittarius, so that might be, there's so much fire in this one as well. Aries and Sagittarius are here, so that may be relevant to you in some way. You also have Libra energy here. But anyway, so with this Temperance card, I feel like perhaps you've been waiting for some, like, the right opportunity is kind of how this is feeling. And it feels like with this Judgment energy, that opportunity is being presented to you, right? It feels like perhaps maybe a wrongdoing that's being made right. some sort of outcome is ruling in your favor. And it's kind of like, now that the time is right, there's action that is taking place, is what this is talking about, the temperance. Something is being let go, right? It's kind of like there's some sort of like clearing out energy of like a like space, right? Clearing out space in order to welcome in something new, right? So it could be that there's like a it could just be even like you're leaving one job and moving to another, right? But it's like you have the right opportunity now, or you have the right, like the opportunity has opened up, and it's like you're free to move, you can go forward, that kind of thing. There's also this interesting dynamic here with the King of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. This King of Swords I see as sort of being like, perhaps somebody in spirit is kind of how it's coming through. Somebody who is perhaps looking out for you or was providing guidance in some way. They're giving you this fresh start, because it's kind of like whatever this situation was, there was some sort of perhaps wrongdoing, or like it was something like it wasn't supposed, like it caused harm, is kind of how this is feeling with the three of swords. So that's being corrected on your behalf. It's kind of like you don't even have to do anything. I don't even think there is much that you can do, because of your energy coming in with the Two of Pentacles and the Two of Swords. It was a stalemate for you. There was nothing that you could have done to change the outcome of this, is what's coming through as well. But that there's a lot of perhaps material abundance that is coming in for you as a result of this. Okay, group 2. I also pulled a Moonology card for you. So it says balance, spirituality, and practicality, the full moon in Pisces. So I feel like perhaps this is like, there may have been some sort of like energetic situation. So again, just because this gavel card comes out, it doesn't mean that it was necessarily tied to some sort of like law case, but it's kind of feeling like there was perhaps like some sort of imbalance in terms of the energy that was being exchanged, right? With this balance card, the Pisces, and in terms of energy, right? So not necessarily in the 3D realm, but there was an energy exchange that was perhaps unbalanced in some way. That's being balanced. And in return, you're getting something practical or very physical or material that's coming in as, what's the word that I'm looking for? Like services owed or something like that, right? Like it's like receiving money or gifts or abundance or material wealth because of some sort of non-physical sort of wrongdoing or energy exchange that was not balanced. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. If this message resonated with you, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. It helps so much. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye. Hi, Group 3. Welcome to your reading. This one's an interesting one. I'm just going to read it how the cards are coming out. So at the bottom of the deck, for this deck, you have the turkey. Someone is behaving stupidly. And then you have the unicorn. Use your intuition to make beneficial changes. So I feel like this turkey energy is somebody else, right? It's kind of feeling like, so I don't like the word stupid. I don't think anyone should ever be called that word. But sometimes people behave in ways that are not beneficial to them, especially because the first card out we have here is the Seven of Swords. So I feel like this is the energy that's in your environment, right? The forces that are working against you. Just to go back to the main theme of this reading, the Seven of Swords. What I love about this Seven of Swords in this deck is because this is the after tarot where it shows you what happens after the traditional Seven of Swords, right? So it's like whoever this one is who's been behaving stupidly, they're gonna walk into their own trap is kind of like what the message is coming through is. I feel like though for you Group D that you may be perhaps overly concerned about this energy, because it's kind of like, especially with the whale, like the overall theme, you're worrying about something that you have nothing to worry about. Because if somebody behaves in this Seven of Swords kind of like energy where it's like perhaps they're taking more than their fair share is kind of what's coming through, is that there's like they will sort of get this energy back to them in some way, right? It's kind of like they're only hurting themselves is what this energy is coming through with for you Group 3. So if you're concerned about this in any way, you shouldn't be, because it's kind of like it's gonna be taken care of. And what you're being asked to focus on is all of this sort of like abundance that's coming in for you, because it could be something like, but okay, I have to talk about this. The energy that this was coming through with as this, the example that was coming through for me as, it says you apply for a job, right? And it's kind of like this job was perhaps given to you by somebody, is kind of how it's feeling like. Like you were actually perhaps like headhunted by somebody in the company already, for example, right? So the job was already yours. However, there was kind of like an informal perhaps, or for whatever, or it's kind of like you entered the building and then the receptionist or something like that, like somebody who was like at the gate, like letting you into the building, security guard or something like that, turned you away because perhaps what you look like or something like that. Something in a behavior that was stupid. They turned you away for some reason that was a self-serving perhaps reason or something like that. And so they turned you away, but it's kind of like with the next cards that are coming out here, the Ace of Swords and the Dog's energy, which is getting together with friends, where it's kind of like they had no right to turn you away, because it's like you already have that job, right? It's like they tried to keep you out of a situation that you already have. And so it's like the people who hired you are rectifying the situation for you with the Ace of Swords. It's like, oh no, actually this person already works here. You're supposed to let them through, is kind of how this is coming through. So getting together with friends. Anyways, that might be sort of something that needs to be released or let go, like whatever that situation is, because it's kind of like, when just somebody is kind of like rude to you for no reason, right? It's like that's gonna just come back on them, right? It's kind of like, don't even spend any more energy on that. So you have here getting together with friends. So there's a new opportunity, because you have all of this like beautiful energy coming in over here on the other side of this, where it's like Ace of Swords, something is being taken care of you, perhaps somebody is taking care of you in some way, right? Like they're looking out for you. It's kind of feeling like you have friends in high places, or you have a group of friends, or just people who care about you with this Dog's energy that are looking out for you and are going to step in here, is kind of how this is feeling, to set something straight, is kind of how this is feeling, setting something straight. And then you have next after that, so what it is you're stepping into. So it could be like a new job opportunity or something like that. You have the coins, which says money, it will be coming to you, and the Goldfish, which is increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. Both of those things, right? Material wealth and spiritual growth. which is really interesting. And some good luck is kind of what's coming through here with this goldfish. And then the tarot cards to help support this is the Magician, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Magician again. So you have the Magician twice, which I feel like this is you and perhaps another, right? Because it's coming through with the friends, the dog's energy, where it's like perhaps the Knight of Pentacles is something to me where it's like you've taken a lot of actions, perhaps on like through routine, through hard work, through dedication, through patience, through trust, and all of that to get somewhere. Because it's coming through with the After Tarot, it's kind of like it has been a long journey already. It's like you've done a lot of hard work already with all of this, like your magician energy, right? That's what's coming in. And it's kind of like you're meeting up with perhaps friends or others who also have this magician energy around you, is kind of how that's coming through. And then you have here, like, so I feel like maybe you'll be working with new people, like whatever this opportunity is that's bringing money and material wealth, it's also bringing spiritual growth, right? Like people that you can work with and build with is kind of how that's coming through. Like a new team or a new job title, new responsibilities, that kind of thing that allows you to use your magician energies to its fullest potential is what this is coming through with, which is so lovely. And I feel like here with the Knight of Pentacles, because it could be something like, because it's something that takes a lot of time and hard work to establish, right? Something that but I feel like you've already done that because it's the After Tarot, and it's like this horse is about to give out, right? It's kind of like you've done a lot of work to get there already. And I feel like with the next part here, whatever it is that this new opportunity is, it's going to be almost like a rejuvenating of your spirit is what this is feeling like, right? It's an increase in spiritual growth because you've gone through this challenge or whatever it is, or because you've put in all the hard work, there's some sort of increase coming, right? That almost like rejuvenates you or brings back your energy in some way. And I feel like here it's talking about, because here you have the tulip, great passion, which is so lovely. And you also have here the Eight of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles, which is talking about a lot of like perhaps like new inspiration, because this tulip card was coming out on top of the Eight of Wands. So the Eight of Wands to me always talks about like setting intentions out there, right? Like putting your intentions out there. There's like manifesting, right? There's so much like manifestational energy that perhaps was like held up by somebody, or it's like whatever it is, it kind of feels like somebody was keeping you from something that you were supposed to go towards for whatever reason. And that was the behavior that was completely uncalled for. Anyways, so Eight of Wands, you're stepping into something new, absolutely, with a lot of passion. A lot of passion is sort of being ignited in this experience, right? It's like getting a new job, perhaps, or stepping into a new environment. Doesn't even have to be a new job. It's just like perhaps a change of scenery, or perhaps some new friends, or a new group, or just like whatever it is. Being surrounded by people who inspire you and being inspired by them. That's what this card is coming through with. And then you have here the Nine of Pentacles. So it's like, so perhaps this has to do with like financial abundance, right? Like building your financial abundance, because it's kind of like perhaps you've been working towards this for a long time, but there was some sort of perhaps like a blockage of your ability to manifest because of somebody else's behavior. And so it's like that's being cleared now, and you have all of the, it's almost like a retroactive kind of retroactive pay, maybe, right? Like an increase in abundance financially, perhaps, or materially in some way that's been held back from you all of a sudden it's all coming in at once is kind of how it's coming through. And then you have here the eye, psychic ability, trust your intuition, because I feel like you've also, again, because it's coming through with spiritual growth, I feel like there's also this added benefit of like having an increase as well in terms of your spiritual development, right? With your intuition. It's like you've gotten some sort of upgrade in terms of like being able to recognize this energy a bit better, perhaps next time, right? Because it is coming through with the unicorn, where it's like perhaps whatever this challenge was that you've overcome, you're now getting some sort of new understanding here with the Ace of Swords about this situation, right? Why it turned out the way that it did, or like how to not let this affect you in future instances, perhaps, right? There's something about that where it's like, I feel like you've gained some sort of knowledge or a renewed, I want to say, because you already had an intuitive sense about this person, perhaps, or situation. It's like, but it's like, it's an upgrade in some way, right? It's like you're getting something, some sort of knowledge or understanding about this so that it doesn't affect you in the future, is what this is talking about. That's what the spiritual growth aspect is. But at the same time, you're also getting an increase in material wealth as well, right? With this Nine of Pentacles. Perhaps some sort of financial independence. Excuse me. Okay. Last two cards. The Hierophant and the Five of Wands. So both of these are fives, right? So it talks about change. There's absolutely a very positive change coming in for you. With the Hierophant and the Five of Wands, though, because the Five of Wands typically talks about conflict of some sort, or like people not getting along, or there's a lot of different opinions. But I feel like part of what it is that you'll be stepping into is kind of like this role in the middle, where it's like aligning energies that are not in alignment is what's coming through here, especially with the Hierophant. So this could talk about, again, because we're talking about sort of like the overall theme of this reading is like a leveling up of commitment, right? This could be that energy, whatever this means to you. So it could be stepping into a position of responsibility with the Hierophant, right? Like you have a title now or something like that, or you have some form of status or position, perhaps, in order to do this with the Five of Wands. Sometimes to me that just talks about like there's just a lot of energies that you have to organize, right? So it could be something like that. It doesn't have to be people. It could just be like there's a lot of energies that are kind of all over the place, and you're putting them in order, or organizing, or just making this situation run more smoothly, perhaps, is kind of how it's coming through here. But it's almost like you had to go through this first in order to, well, did you though? I don't know. Maybe you didn't. Regardless, it's like, don't even focus on that. Stop focusing on that. I feel like as well with the Strength card, it's really interesting. I feel like this is, you've overcome something. Absolutely. You've absolutely overcome something. Perhaps with the help of like friends, or your intuition in some way, or authenticity is kind of what's coming through here. So I'm going to leave the reading there. Group 3. But I pulled Moonology cards for you, and you got the Surrender to the Divine, Full Moon, and Believe in the Impossible, the Blue Moon. So I'm going to leave it there for you. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me. It helps so much, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.